Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Nuscale Power. It is time for another update, and on this chart not much has changed from a large time frame perspective. We have pushed a little bit lower, but we are still looking at a high quality structure in my opinion, as we are able to identify an initial 5-wave move to the upside here, where we have a wave 1 top in place, likely within this high, not absolutely necessary. It could be that the wave 1 topped here, but regardless, we are looking at a high quality area of support at the levels between the $15.3 all the way down to the $3.8 level. It was particularly more interesting on this chart than within other opportunities to even look for potential direct extensions within a more bullish interpretation, but that has only remained a possibility, a likely structure within our white interpretation, and we have broken the area of support for such an expectation fairly recently, but we do know that we are looking at a potentially much larger correction to unfold at this point, as within the yellow interpretation, especially if we consider a wave 1 to have topped here, we would have an initial 5-wave move to the downside within a count or the other, doesn't really matter. It is quite apparent, quite clear that this would be a 5-wave pattern at the moment, and unless we form a more direct extension in a wave C in this structure, I would find it to be of great risk to not be prepared for another low after a more substantial relief rally. Now, within this pattern, I am still looking to possibly form a stronger relief rally at any point now, and this structure has been extending to lower prices as per our expectations of this wave A, and we have been looking to find more sound structural support here at the levels between the $11.7 down to around the $11 level, yeah, the previous swing low within this area. And this is not to say that we are not expecting to go below this level, to have a dip below it, but from this region we find it highly likely that a stronger relief rally would be occurring, or at least, at the very least, a slowdown in the momentum that is ongoing in this structure to lower prices. Now, since we have extended lower within this wave A, I would also need to adjust our area of resistance for a follow-up wave B correction, and now we are looking for the first level to start at the $21.4, and that is basically the minimum expectation for a relief rally in the wave B, and it does happen that it doesn't get reached, although that is rather on a much more rare occasion that we do not reach even the first level of resistance, and it might signal quite a lot of weakness on this chart if we fail to achieve such an extension to higher prices. Now, as we extend lower within this wave A, expect this area of resistance to move along as well, so don't get too focused on a specific dollar number for the resistance levels, because those do get adjusted based on the length of the wave A. But yes, we would be looking to reach into the overall area of resistance starting at the 38.2% retracement after we have this wave to the downside complete, and only really with a break above the 78.6% retracement can we really start to look for something potentially more bullish, such as a more direct breakout that could work well within the interpretation of this being a larger A, B, C structure, although I will mention this is a very low likelihood interpretation at this point in my opinion. Now, in this structure, we are tracking a couple of interpretations that would allow extensions even lower, and if this is to build a wave 5 to the downside in this area, it should be expected, especially if we form a 5-wave pattern here, to look for a 3-wave correction and then yet another 5-wave move to the downside, as we are tracking a diagonal pattern in this structure. But don't be too attached to one interpretation, to having to extend lower even with a 5-wave pattern in this area, because I could just as well track this wave 3 to have bottomed here instead and to have this as a wave 4, and then within this structure we would have an A, B, C pattern available within a wave 5. So we certainly need to be flexible. Now, what I have been tracking internally within this area are a couple of ideas. So firstly, I would still strongly favor that this develops as a 5-wave pattern to the downside. And at the same time, I will add here the main area of resistance, the level that would need to be broken for a signal that this wave 5 will not get even further extensions to lower prices. And this is why we have been also tracking here the 78.6% retracement, although at this point both areas of resistance would need to be adjusted, as this additional extension to lower prices has still been part of the internal structure, not having reached either area of resistance since our previous low. Now, if you enjoy these updates, if you enjoy our guidance, our roadmap, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as we provide such developments for a very large number of stocks. Now, in this structure, with the latest low, I would adjust the areas of resistance, while mentioning that here I would very easily expect this pattern to be able to continuously extend to lower prices, as there is no clear reversal signal, and that is especially from a larger time frame perspective. But here, if we go within the smaller time frame, we have some more clarity forming within this structure. So I would even go as far as to say that I prefer the blue interpretation, where we are tracking a diagonal pattern in something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And within this wave 3, I'm looking for something like an A, B, C pattern, and within this wave C, I'm looking for something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be my currently preferred interpretation, and it would be strongly suggested to me that a bottom could be imminent within this wave 3, although I would prefer still, after a wave 4 correction, after a retracement at least into the $13.3 based on the current bottom, to form yet another extension to lower prices in a wave 5 in an A, B, C structure. And by the way, within this internal wave C of the larger wave 3, I'm looking to form an ending diagonal, which means that within this wave 5, I really only need to build a 3-wave pattern to consider a full count, a full structure. And there are a few options of how I could count this as a 3-wave structure, but probably my currently preferred interpretation would be for this to have been a wave A, to have here a wave B, and a wave C that could be taking place here. And within this wave C, we really could be very well towards the end of this extension to lower prices, which would come very much in confluence with our larger structural support here down to the $11 level, and we could be forming a bottom within this region at any point. I was mentioning that we have this structural support. During the first phase of the video, I was mentioning that we do not need to break it, but this doesn't mean that we will break it. Forming at least a local low within a smaller time frame in this area would not be and should not be surprising at all, even though I do prefer that after we have this low in place, that we have here a wave 4 and a wave 5 before looking for a potential bottom. And again, within this bottom, especially after we have the full count with the wave 5 in place, I will be on high alert for a large wave B correction to be forming. And we even get a few signals that we would be heading towards a more substantial bottom. And for example, we have decent divergences even here on the daily time frame. And if we go within a smaller time frame, we can see even within this internal structure some more apparent divergences where, yeah, we would be looking very easily for a wave 5 bottom to possibly form in this area. If we go on an even smaller time frame, those become even more apparent. Yeah, it's definitely starting to decrease its momentum in this extension to lower prices. Now, I wouldn't focus too much on the internal structure. I could, for example, see within this as a wave C to the downside 1 or 2 more lows before a bottom or a count, let's say, would be more clearly full. But especially within such a small time frame, I wouldn't be too fixated on an exact outcome out of such a pattern. And for now, for a quick summary, we are still patient. We are looking for a stronger relief rally to form, ideally after a smaller relief rally in a wave 4 and a wave 5, and after a 3-wave correction into this area of resistance, we would be looking ideally to form another 5-wave move to the downside within a wave C, deeper into our large area of support in yellow. Now, if we manage to identify, even within this wave B to the upside, an initial 5-wave pattern, that would still be of high interest to us to look for a potential position in the area of support after a 3-wave correction. But for now, let's take it level by level, let's be patient and give it some time to actually unfold its structure. We are seeing good signs that a bottom may be forming relatively soon, and we are looking even for opportunities within such an occasion. And I'm not telling you whether to buy or not, but we would still be within the larger area of support. We have here the structural support down to the $11 level. Yeah, we have then the 50% retracement at the $10.2 level. All of these areas could help in creating a more substantial reversal. Now, all of this has to be accounted for in your risk management plan. I'm just pointing out that from the 50% retracement, we would still be looking at pretty good risk-reward ratios. It would still be within our larger area of support, and I cannot guarantee that we will get here a wave C after we form the next rally that we expect to be within a wave B. Yeah, it could be the case that we form a bottom within this correction and a more substantial one prior to extending in what could be a larger wave 3 to the upside. Now, if you choose to accumulate within this area, it is your choice. I'm not endorsing anything here and I'm not a financial advisor. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, once again, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and you want to support us directly, don't forget to check out our channel membership. Other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead, and until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.